Row 18, plot 20.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim. Today I'm doing a review for a movie that I almost skipped. I almost skipped watching this new 2023 movie, Knock at the Cabin. It is a 1 hour and 40-minute movie, rated R, scores 6.2 on IMDb, and I feel like I almost missed out on a really good movie. I really enjoyed A Knock at the Cabin. And I feel like maybe I'm a jerk because I almost skipped this movie just because I didn't think Dave Bautista was going to do it for me. Uh, and M. Night Shyamalan movies are kind of hit or miss. But you know what? Surprisingly, I really enjoyed all of the actors in this movie, and I'll get into that in just a second, including Dave Bautista. I saw an interview with him where he was talking about that he was glad his Guardians of the Galaxy role was coming to an end because he wanted to focus on more serious stuff. I've never seen him act in anything but Guardians of the Galaxy, and that character's pretty goofy. Um, but I was pleasantly surprised with his acting. And M. Night Shyamalan, I've always been a fan of. Uh, but again, there's been movies that have been hit or missed. So he's the director. He also, M. Night Shyamalan, that is, was also one of the writers. And it's based on the book The Cabin at the End of the World. Uh, and Paul Tremblay, I believe, wrote that book, and the screenplay was M. Night Shyamalan and Steve Desmond. It stars Dave Bautista as a character named Leonard. Andrew and Eric are two dads, my two fathers, played by Ben Aldridge and Jonathan Groff. And they have a little adopted daughter. Her name is Wen, and she's played by Kristen Cui, and I'm not sure if that's Q. Yeah. And then there's this group. The main cast is really just these seven characters. Rupert Grint plays Redmond, and he is very familiar looking because he was in the Harry Potter franchise. Abby Quinn plays a character named Adrian, and Nikki Amuka Bird plays Sabrina. And there's some other cast members, from like news and television. So, if for some reason you don't know, this movie revolves around my two dads and adopted daughter Wen. They're vacationing, and they get held hostage by the group led by Leonard. And so it seems at first like it's going to be a home invasion type movie, but Leonard and his group are at different levels of intensity. And Leonard is really big looking, so he's physically imposing looking, but he's probably the most mildest tempered of everyone. And um, I'm going to try to stick to my notes because if you have not seen this, then I don't want to spoil things for you. The movie is set in Pennsylvania. I'm not really sure where it was shot though, but the setting is supposed to be Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. It was shot in New Jersey, so not too far off. This is a Universal Pictures film, by the way, if I didn't already mention that. And M. Night Shyamalan makes a cameo. It's a blink and you miss it cameo, but it's really funny, actually. I caught it right away. I was glad to see it. So Dave Bautista approaches Wen in these woods. So we pick up right in the middle of the vacation. There's no build up. There's no character development at the beginning of the movie. It just starts right off with Wen doing some grasshopper catching, and Dave Bautista's character Leonard approaches her. They become friendly. Obviously he's a scary looking dude. So then the rest of the group shows up, and it appears like it's a home invasion type movie. They do establish the no cell phones thing, and it's the sign of the times how many movies where there's a wooded area or a movie where we watch, it's particularly horror, and we're like, why don't they just call somebody? So like writers are forced to include a scene or some verbal acknowledgement of that there is no cell service. And nobody has landlines anymore, or they can just cut the wire. So that's an easy fix. Yeah, so the story progresses pretty steadily. Like, it's a movie that really had me engaged the whole time. At first, there was a oddly placed flashback. The very first flashback, and they're very short. There's several of them sprinkled throughout the movie, and there's even a flash forward, actually. But the first time the first flashback popped in, I was like, "Ooh, I'm on high alert. I have to pay attention to these flashbacks. There's going to be some thing that I have to be paying attention to that's going to be relevant in modern time." And if there was, I didn't catch anything, and the flashbacks were more of the character building of the Andrew and Eric and Wen. So they were touching little scenes that kind of engage you to feel for them and the position that they're put in. So I don't think it's spoilerish to say that at first, like I said, it seems like it's a home invasion film, and the motivations of Leonard and team go from the perspective of Eric and Andrew, that it's a homophobic thing, so that they're being targeted because they're a gay couple, and then it turns to, well, maybe they're being recruited by Leonard and team to be a part of whatever cult that they're in. But it's quickly revealed what their actual purpose is. Leonard and team are there to prevent the apocalypse, but there are rules that they have to follow. The four of them in the little team have been having nightmares and visions, and they all met through chats online about having similar and exact visions. And so the family, Andrew, Eric, and Wen, are forced to have to make a decision to prevent the apocalypse. And for each time they say no, then there is one more apocalyptic catastrophe. I think Leonard says that for each time that they say no, when they have to make the decision, that they unleash a plague. I could be wrong on the verbiage of that, but it gets crazy, and it gets really intense, and it becomes like this movie of, what would you do in this situation if you had to make the decision that they have to make? What do you do? Like, the world becomes apocalyptic if you don't make a decision. I was very engaged, like I said, very intense. The score is intense. At one point toward the third act, within the score, when the action kind of amps up a little bit, there's even like a ticking clock. I don't know why that's so hard to say. A ticking clock mixed in with the music, so it even adds to the pressure that time is running out, and they need to make a decision. So one of the things that I thought was very, very well done, and credit to the writer of the book and then the screenplay adaptation, of pointing out that each one of the four characters in Leonard's team represented malice, nurture, healing, and guidance. And yeah, really well done. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it is definitely worth watching. I'm really glad that I didn't skip this one. And so, yeah, let me know if you saw this movie, if you felt the same way that I did. Let me know if you want to put on your boogie shoes. Let me know if this big empty spot on my wall has been bothering you as much as it has been me. while I've filmed this video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel because we do all sorts of fun stuff and I'd really like you to be a part of it. And if you would hit the like button, I would like that as well. That's it. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Peace.
So have your dream. Go on and sing your song. There's nothing wrong with singing out of tune. If people laugh and say your dream can never be, just think of